It's okay. Off your mic, it's okay. Off your mic,
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle so they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. ìgbádìyẹ. Máyégún máa wí. Àníyàn sọ́ra jù. Máyégún ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. Àníyàn sọ́ra jù. Máyégún ti dé. Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Máyégún máa wí. Àníyàn sọ́ra jù. Máyégún ti dé.
Hello there. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you're joining us. It is Mayegun live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please, after reading the caption of the broadcast, kindly read the description as well. Then like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them all that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. So thank you so much for joining me. So tonight, we are digging into many things, starting with Thiefnubu's commissioning of 5 or 6 kilometers of road to Dangote's refinery, as well as the Lekki deep seaport. So the story behind all of that, I will share with us tonight. And the occasion, at the occasion, who said what, when, all right? And after that, we are also going to touch the sad story of a farmer from Adamawa, Sunday Jackson, a man that defended himself against a Fulani attacker 10 years ago. And just about 3 months ago, right, the Supreme Court of Nigeria confirmed is, or should I say affirmed, is sentencing, which means he is now waiting for the hangman's news, except something is done. Remember? So somebody takes us back that memory lane again, because, you know, so many things happening at the same time, all at once, that you can barely keep up. We can barely keep up. So it is Barrister Uzekume who decided to take the Supreme Court to the public court. So we're going to touch that this evening, a bit of a throwback on that. And also, the CDS, Christopher Musa, Chief of Defense Staff of Nigeria, was recently at a gathering where he delivered a speech. And in that speech, he was more or less like agonizing, right, at how Nigerians are not patriotic. They do not seem to love their country. And he decided to remind you all that if Nigeria fail, there is no country that can take you all. So we're touching that tonight, and a few other stories as well, you know. So the starter is that Dangote refinery, right, held a ceremony today. Number one, to celebrate their, you know, success in business. It's more or less like the gathering of, the capitalists, the politicians, the crony capitalists, and the rest of them, right? However, Bill Gates was there, Thiefnubu was there too. So it was there to commission the paved road, right, to Dangote's refinery, as well as this new one, Lekki deep sea port. But the story behind that is that in 2019, Bokohari signed an executive order which granted a tax break to Dangote, not just him, but Dangote and others. And what does that mean? It simply means that instead of Dangote businesses to pay taxes to Nigeria, federal government too, not that of Lagos, so it's federal, right? So the federal government, right, used its own resources, or even that tax, to construct a public road. So in 2019, Dangote got a tax break of 309 billion naira. So the value of that today is probably over 3 trillion naira. If you have to, because the cost of the cost of the project at that time can be compared to what it is now. Okay, so just doing the scale of preference and weighted the column. Anyway, Dangote was expected then to construct, I have the names of the roads here. So it was expected, right, to construct about 340 kilometers of roads for that money. So 5 roads to be precise. So one of them, right, is this Lekki Deep Free Trade Zone, Lekki Deep Seaport, and the future Lekki airports, international airports, Dangote refineries. So instead of the government to come and do it, so Dangote would do that. But there are other 5 roads. Okay, let me list them. Okay. So you have Bama to Banki in Borno State, which was valued at 51.02 billion naira. You know, so it was it is a 49.1 kilometer road. Okay, so then you have Gambo Gala, which is 49.58 kilometers. It was expected to cost 55.5 billion naira then, right? So it was supposed to also construct the Nnamdi Azikiwe road, popularly known as a Western Bypass in Kaduna, 21.48 kilometers, which, they said that from Command Junction to Koolu, and it was expected to cost 37.5 billion naira. So others, which is now this one, okay, Lekki Seaport, is called Seaport Access Road Section 1 and 3 in Lagos. So the road is expected to go through Ekpe to Shagamu. And whereas Shagamu Expressway, it was supposed to like cross like that, and then you know what I mean. But also the road, if it was completed, it's not completed right now. But it's like everybody is more interested in trying to build roads that will further increase the value of their new Atlantic city and the free trade zone and all that. You know what I mean, right? So it was supposed to get to from Lagos State to Ogun State, right? And they said it is 54.24 kilometers. I don't know, you can tell me if those of you in Ekpe, you have seen the road, I mean, it's a good thing, a good deal that I believe Bokohari pulled off then. And if it's still ongoing, that's fine. So it was also expected. Meanwhile, there's another one, Obele, Ilaro, Papalanto to Shagamu Road. That one is like 100 kilometers. I don't know if they have done that now as well. It's part of the deal. So Dangote won't pay taxes. All right, it won't pay taxes for 5 years. All right, and it could go ahead and construct all of these roads. I don't know how many of that is completed, but today, Thiefnubu raised some sort of red flags in his own address, apart from, giving himself a lot of credit for attracting the likes of all these big weights to Lagos. And at that point, he decided to call out the deputy governor. It's a red flag, and it didn't start just now. It is believed, for those who have been observing, everything happening in the last 1 week, since Thiefnubu arrived at Lagos, that somehow it seemed, right, Thiefnubu is trying to cover whatever, rift between them, that is Sanwoiku and Thiefnubu. Now, you may say this is just like distraction and all that. Fine. But it is going to be a point of reference probably later. And you know why? very soon they are going to start denying it. And the moment you push them to deny it, that means it's true. And if that should be the case, right, there may be more trouble in the paradise. And I, as someone who, I don't know, I am like somebody who monitors weather. For example, now, let's say there is going to be a solar eclipse, for example, or maybe I am somebody who is like tracking solar eclipse, tracking tornadoes, and I have to travel all over the world trying to document, places where tornadoes, I'll use the tornadoes now, right? So places where that there are tornadoes where I can document. So that's somebody like me. And that's what I do with, when it comes to political happenings, because there are always pointers there. So from those pointers, from those factors, you can easily sit back and project, which some will say, predict what's going to happen. So let me tell you why I am sharing this with you now, all right, at this stage. It's the fact that I have studied this Nigeria so well that I can be awarded an expert license. And I'll tell you, the entire system does not exist in isolation. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like everything happening, all this nonsense, all this criminality associated with these roads, right? That has sort of brought Nigeria to this failed state, right? It's not like they are happening in isolation or something that a lot of people are pretty much not sure or aware. There are so many enablers. Nigerians enabled it. And that is because people love their own criminals differently. It's more or less like if yours is there, you can pretend that it's not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad. All you have to do is to say they have been like worse or bad before him. And for every regime that exists or establishment put together in that place, right, they always have their own support base, enabling them for so many reasons. And because of all these attachments, it has made it so easier for these roads to last this long, despite the fact that their victims includes their own friends and supporters, supposed supporters. So in my own research and years of experience, I have discovered that this Nigeria or Nigerians, right, who have been so divided, we never have enough sort of like a unison. When I mean unison, it doesn't mean that you agree on everything, but you agree on one thing and say, you know what, people responsible for all of this that we are going through this contraption, we must end it and chart a different course. So people can really agree. So what's going to then happen? The system have to like self-destruct. It's like pressing the self-destruct button. And what is self-destruct button in politics or in the game of power? It simply means you are going to get to a stage, first you start with the ambition to kind of like, crush, conquer everybody and, take power. Then finally you get the power. They get the power. Then they want to consolidate the power. In the process of consolidating the power, they will begin to experiment the character of like godlike character. Like they will be saying things that must happen in 5 years, that will happen in 2 years, that will happen in 10 years. A mortar making such, sure you get. So, and they will be doing so, right? So the never seen before, the most kind of like horrible downgrading of the people that you can ever imagine. So how can such people then be defeated? You can't defeat them. They will need to defeat themselves. They will get to a stage where they will be like, nobody can defeat them. And in that process, at the height of that, as they ascend, they will start descending by destroying themselves themselves from within. Little crack here, little crack there. It's just unfortunate that even when they are at the brim of total collapse, the citizens are not educated enough, or I don't know, like united enough to crush them fully. Rather, the citizens would be willing and happy to get themselves re-enslaved by another set of career criminals, unfortunately. But you see, on Mayegun's diary political, what I do most is that I don't know you, I don't know where you belong, I don't know how you see this, from what angle, perspective, or wherever. There's something I do know, and that is, no matter who you are, right? If you think it very, very deep, you realize that whether you are supporting them or you are opposing them, we all have something in common. We are all victims of a failed country. And these guys are not saying it that way, right? A system where career criminals have looted not just the present, including the future, and they are praising themselves. So when you see a chance that they are beginning to show the symptoms of that crack, it is not to celebrate, it is to note. So back to the red flag. One, he sent like a subtle message, two subtle messages. The first one, Sanwoiku has been missing. I mean, everybody knows that Sanwoiku used to be Thiefnubu's babysitter or Kiara. Maybe that was because before now. Anyway, nevertheless, all of this, have commissioning, celebration here and there, right? They're happening in Lagos. And Sanwoiku is the host governor. Is the one probably hosting Thiefnubu. So far, so good. He has been mostly skimmed out. And wherever he showed up, he appeared mostly like somebody who is uninvited. So when Koolu was addressing or giving a speech, he called out the deputy governor, meaning it was the deputy governor there. And guess what? He was giving him a directive that, you know what, in the future, right, we have to work and make sure that all those people who are going to be encroaching on land, people who are going to be creating artificial island, because you can create your own artificial island. I think all you need is just to get, what's it that where they used to dredge river like that to pump out the sand from somewhere, pump it like maybe 2-3 hectares of land. I mean, sand. You can have an island. So Koolu is already envisaging that, and they have to own it. Put it that way. I'm not going to start from Koolu. I'm going to start from Dangote himself. Talking about the success, the achievements of subsidy removal, this and that, and that you should also be grateful that even if you are buying a liter of petrol for 800 or 900 naira, you are still the cheapest in Africa, according to him. And it can only get better, according to him.
Of fuel subsidies and the deregulation of the downstream petroleum sector, the drive to increase crude oil production, the unification of the Naira exchange rate, the presidential CNG initiatives, and the ongoing comprehensive overhaul of the tax regime. I think, sir, by the time we start practicing your overhauled tax regime, everybody will be up and about. They will run and come to Aso Rock to thank you for actually creating that policy. We thank you, sir. Your Excellency, through this policy, it's a very, very creative policy of your administration. The Dangote Group will be expending about 900 billion on 8 roads infrastructural projects. This deep sea concrete road, Ekpe Road, which you are commissioning today, is one of the 8 projects totaling 500 kilometers spread out, throughout Nigeria. It's not only this one, it is throughout Nigeria, including 2 roads in Borno State. which will link Borno with Chad and also with Cameroon. We thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, the industrial complex is one of the several key initiatives by the Dangote Group in supporting the federal government's Reduced Hope agenda, which is focused in transforming Nigeria into a manufacturing hub for Africa. Our objective is to produce domestically those goods that historically we've been importing despite our abundant natural resources. Now we have actually, sir, reversed the tide. Today, Your Excellency, most cement consumed in West Africa is coming from Nigeria. Nigeria was number two. Nigeria was number 2 in importation of cement. By Your Excellency, by next year when we finish Itori, Nigeria will be the largest exporter of cement in the entire African continent. Your Excellency, the refinery offers tremendous benefits to our economy and our people. First, beyond ensuring a steady supply of high-quality fuels for the transportation sector, it also provides critical raw material for a range of industries, including plastics, pharmaceuticals, food, beverages, packaging, construction, and many others. Secondly, Your Excellency, the refinery and its ancillary operations will generate significant employment opportunities. The broader downstream with value chain to absorb even more labor, providing jobs for thousands of Nigerians. This one, Your Excellency, majority of filling stations that are not working, they are now back to work. There is no more shortage, no more queues, and there will never be. Your Excellency, Mr. President, as we stand at the threshold of this new era, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petroleum Complex symbolizes not only the fulfillment of a bold vision, but also the immense potential of what can be achieved when private enterprise and a purposeful government leadership work in tandem. And I think, sir, you are the right partner for us to partner with and make Nigeria great. We have actually, sir, remained steadfast in our commitment in contributing meaningfully to Nigeria's economic transformation, supporting your administration's efforts to build a self-reliant, globally competitive nation. We have also remained Nigeria's highest tax-paying company. And I'm sure, Mr. Zak, you can testify to that. The collective taxes that were paid last year in 2024, VAT, corporate tax, education, health, is amounting to about 402 billion. With continued collaboration and shared resolve, we are confident that.
Anyway, just to save all of us further word salad. So let's just believe that. No, don't let us just believe that, because I've heard that before. Did you see Koolu there? You know, so that wasn't him. All right. So somehow people should give Bokohari some credit too, because it was Bokohari and Emefiole that processed nearly $10 billion for this same Dangote when his European bank, what do you call them, funder, sponsor, those who were supposed to give him loan to build the refinery. Europe and the rest of the world ran into coronavirus, remember? So that Dangote was, that refinery was supposed to be owned by you. But do you remember the whole thing that played out after that? I'll remind you, don't worry. I'm a revisionist. Some of them will say that. So when you try to speak your mind, like somebody said, word salad, just all talk. You know what I mean? And that person may see you as a bad belly without understanding the background of where that is coming from. You get what I mean? So quota system during Bokohari's time, Dangote, the same Aliko, is an Agipo. Any government in power, give it to him. He's a business guy, a capitalist, and yeah, he plays along with everyone. And of course, he let them have their own, their way. That's why some people believe that his enterprise, his business is mostly, anyway, don't let me say that because it will be like we are bad belly. But let me give you the backstory, Sha. So when that money, apart from the fact that the Central Bank of Nigeria, which means Nigeria, guaranteed is a loan, kind of like being like guarantor to his loan application for this refinery, when Nigeria was like, yeah, we are with him and all that. So it simply means that it was supposed to be what they couldn't build. A private businessman is about to build it. And behind the scene, they were making deals. Who were the deals? The money given to Dangote, there was supposed to be loan, right? It wasn't loan. It was said that, okay, it was agreed that once the refinery is completed, right, Nigeria will have a certain, Nigerians, you will have a certain shares in it. So as Dangote refinery is booming, Nigerians will having their own share stake, so which means you will see it as yours. That was the idea. In fact, that was what Dangote himself said it was supposed to be. But the story changed. In his own defense, Dangote said, indeed, they agreed that Nigeria was going to give him some money. This was like towards the tail end of Bokohari's time. That they were going to invest $5 billion. But the investment somehow would be in two phases. One, Nigeria will give him like liquid cash of maybe $2.5 billion. And then the remaining $2.5 billion will be given to him in crude oil. So, and once that is done, for future supply, Dangote will be supplied crude oil discounted in Naira, not in dollars. This was supposed to be the deal. And they were like, they sounded nice. I mean, that was what he said. So it sounded nice. Unfortunately, Dangote said that they didn't give him crude oil, that they agreed 300,000 barrels of crude oil every day. They didn't give him as agreed. The money they said they were going to give to him to buy about 40% shares in Dangote, that they only gave him $1 billion, $1.5 billion. Therefore, the shares of Nigeria in Dangote refinery is, I think, 10% or so, or 7%. Anyway, the story long. And Dangote, if anybody call him a quota system billionaire, the last I captured on this particular story, right, was that the road they would need to construct was 347 kilometers. I just said it to you right there that initially it was 500 billion tax break. But right now, they have over 900 billion tax break. So we need to construct roads worth than 900 billion across Nigeria, right? But to Thiefnubu, well, the one you have just done, there's a chance we've just done the coastal road too. And we believe that there will be, like Shegun said yesterday, there will be businesses interested in coming to take the choice locations along the corridor. They call it corridor, by the way. So first, where people noticed that where is Sanwoiku was when Koolu called the deputy governor and gave him this little instruction. You get what we are going to do now.
Expansion, building of infrastructure to enhance road architecture and return on investment. Please, our dear governors, let's work together. Don't give planning approvals without collaborating with the Superior General of the Federation and Ministry of Works on these roads. Please, I appeal to you. And I'm glad the Deputy Governor of Lagos State is here. Take it that we will revoke all those approvals given on the setback already given. And please note that we are very serious about it. No more planning approval for those unapproved islands being created illegally. Thank you very much.
It's so like vast or significant. The question of where is a Sanwoiku. And of course, yeah, like don't give approval on this side of the road. You know, if you do that, we're gonna like revoke them. Because the land now as it is, they are choice areas. So those of you who have lands along the corridor, or those of you who they have taken their land already, and whatever it is, sure you get, it is just about to go down. And to those who have raised observation with evidence, the lies of a 30 kilometers completed coastal road, right? Here is what Thiefnubu has to say, talking to Umahi. The village say, "Omo, the Shege I. Shege is, it's probably having a shower right now, not even dressed. What these guys will still have, they still have in stock, and they don't even like, sort of like hide it. They speak freely. They say it openly, and people will only react later and say, we no go agree, we no go agree." I say, you know go what? Now listen to this part.
To you, David, Umahi, the working. I like the remark of the Minister for the Blue Economy, saying they will always support your rescoping nationwide, where we are seeing the result of rescoping. We are not in pain, we are enjoying. We truly retune our and re-engineer our finances to find more money for infrastructure, which is the backbone of any industrialization and economic development and job creation of any nation. We will do it. But I appeal to you, David, don't listen to those critics. They don't know what they're talking about. If they don't like the road, or if it's too expensive or tolling for them, they could go to Idumata. My own is to affirm our commitment as an administration to deliver enduring infrastructure across our great nation. Forget all the misconceptions. You are a thinker and a doer, a great professional, David. I am very
nuisance leleyi. Nuisance leleyi.
That's how they praise themselves. A doer, a achiever, you know, our resolve, for our commitment, our resolve to our, you know, other nonsense. But Koolu said, don't listen to critics. But come to think of it, right? 30 kilometers, let's even say 30 kilometers of the road is completed, all right? And that completed in a word shouldn't come with but. Here you get now. So the first observation was that the 30 kilometers that is completed is not completed. However, the part completed does not have any layover, or if you have any breakdown or what have you on the side. And that's going to be like a but. So that's like a good observation, right? That any responsible government will say, oh yeah, we observe that. You may see that we haven't done this and that, but they're like, we have not come. Okay. Then that's going to be contrary to it is completed. You know? And to the typical Nigerians, so which one is not well? It's okay like that. I see the road. You say they just let's appreciate them, kind of. And that is why Thiefnubu said, Umahi shouldn't, Devil Umahi shouldn't listen to any critic. These critics are the people whose tax money or debt that they would have to pay is being used allegedly to construct this don't criticize it road. And if they say it is too expensive per kilometers, toll it. That is, charge them for it, man. Right? If it is too expensive, they could go to a dumota. What does that even mean? What did that mean? Like, if anybody says it is too expensive, they can go to a dumota. And they laughed. It was funny. Thiefnubu is funny. You get what I mean? You have no idea. You see, when people say poor people, here is another observation, right? Whenever people say poor people worship money, you have no idea what the supposed rich people do for money, especially in Nigeria. There is no simp, as they will say, like Nigerian politicians. You will see them, they are rich. But if you see what they will do, the level of psychophancy, the level of eye service, what these guys will reduce themselves to, just to at least appear to be possibly favored. It will shock you if you know what these guys, what they do. And when they do it in the public like that, you're like, anyway, that's up to you. Because they're different, right? Let's leave that a little bit. So today, at least, captured on camera, Nigerian soldiers were seen celebrating their victory over ISWAP. You know, they captured ISWAP flag, killed some of them. At least I saw about 8 bodies. And this was a Malam Fatori. I think that's important, you know, earlier today. So now that will then take us to what this guy is lamentation. The supposed chief of defense staff of Nigeria, who is so concerned that Nigerians don't like Nigeria at all. He said Nigerians don't love Nigeria. And this is actually, you know, first class gaslighting. You know, I'm coming to it. But let's celebrate these guys. At least it's not the other way around this time around. So we'll give it to them.
Straight to
according to report, right, the terrorists among the local governments that they currently control, ISWAP, have been controlling this particular community for a while, or successfully. The Nigerian soldiers of that particular battalion, is that what you call them? Battalion. Yeah. They succeeded in dislodging these dreaded terrorists. And you give it to them. Okay. Because in the other part of the country, Benue, to be precise, the people have not only just been slaughtered, like a serious massacre going on, right? A lot have been so displaced that everything seems like stagnant, that they can't really do anything. Similar thing is going on in Zamfara. It's like everywhere, but Zamfara, right? They have been at it for a very long time, you know. Again, they have pulled themselves together to confront, you know, these terrorists. While they were at it, after losing about 50 of their own loved ones to this same dreadful terrorist, Nigerian Army or Nigerian Air Force flew over their town. When they were pursuing these terrorists, they dropped bomb on them twice. And guess what? From those who survived, they said the aircraft that came to drop the bomb flew so low, like the pilot could see who is who. He still dropped, still nuked them. So in all of this, the story is so different. So when you see some who kind of like, you know, just give it to them. Okay? Because in Benue State, right, it's a different story entirely. A different story.
Oh yes, there is no way we cannot appreciate the role of the military in managing or attempting to manage the state of insecurity that we currently experience in our states and in some of these flash points of local government, to which APA local government, my own local government, is one of the worst hit in recent time. And I confirm that the women, youths, and the entire leadership of APA local government has brought to our attention, even before the protests, a sense complexity on the side of the military, whose primary responsibility is to also protect our people, lives, and property. The military that were in our place, particularly in our local government, who were carrying out their lawful duty, intercepting some this youth. There is this allegation that one of our young chap died under the hands of the military. That matter is under investigation as to the cost for arrest and why with the military and why did he have to die. And then we have also listened to the account of on the side of the military to why that situation happened. The military formation have also dispatched a troop to do investigation from Makurdi and Abuja respectively. We are still awaiting the outcome of these happenings. The youth, women of APA were all out and then pushing the position that they no longer need the presence of the military. Is at the level of their understanding of the role of the military and the desirability of having the military around in such a times. Are there complexity? Yes. Complexity, such as the case of, you know, a young man dying under their watch. And then we had received reports from the community that there are several times that these invaders will come and a call will be put to the military, and their response will be either after these invaders must have caused havoc and have retreated, and then the military will show to help evacuate diseased and also in some other breath prevents the locals in the attempt to protecting their own selves in their lands. But let me use this occasion, as I agree completely with the expression of, you know, the women and the youths of APA local government, and that seemingly is the reflection of an ordinary man around the street we have the understanding that the presence of the military will ward off this invader, but regrettably, we kept seeing the surging of these invaders and their activities around our land, causing loss of lives and property. But again, I will not express, the true position of things without sending strong words of, condolence and appreciation to the military formation, because in the course of protecting our own land, in particular our local government, we have recorded cases where about 4 of them lost their life attempting to protect our people.
There's also the politics side to it.
I can't say, but I understand that they are playing their role, and all that we need to do is to...
So, you heard him. Sorry about the breaking in that video, right? But you got the message. People on the other side, or in every part of Nigeria, they have had a very terrible, experiences with terrible experiences with the Nigerian military and the rest of them, uniformed guys. A situation whereby some of them have actually grown suspicious of the military and their involvement in this murderous terrorists. Because despite all of this, the only people that are being rehabilitated are the terrorists. Have you ever heard anything like that before? The victims of terrorism, right, are languishing in different kind of inhabitable environments, scattered all over, especially in northern part of Nigeria. It's the terrorists they are rehabilitating in Nigeria. Like, they are graduating them. They call them repentant terrorists. Have you ever seen anything like that before in your life? I haven't until now. And honestly speaking, see, there are likely people who are going to dispute it, that even if you show them evidence that no, this is not possible. It is happening in Nigeria. Okay? So repentant terrorists, they have over 300,000 repentant terrorists. Terrorists who kidnap children, women, rape them, right? And then they will still keep the children from such. And guess what Nigerian government treat them as? They treat them as family. They will say a repentant terrorist and his family. His family. How? You see, that is what the system tolerates. And people have kind of like, they don't believe in their military, unfortunately. And the military knows. The CDS, this Christopher Musa, rather, so Mustafa, who was speaking at a gathering, like I said, a few days ago. In his own observation, it's like when we kill the terrorists, we don't get praised. But the moment the terrorists, once they kill people, everybody will begin to criticize us. Everybody will begin to wish this and that. Listen, let's hear from you. Just briefly.
And somehow, we seem to also be buying into all this falsehood. Sometimes I imagine when you see people celebrating when they are failures, it's only someone who doesn't really know what's going on that want to believe or want to pray for his country to fail. Forgetting the fact that if your country fails, which means you have equally failed. And if your security forces fail, especially your armed forces, I don't know which country you will have to stand with. First and foremost, we must look at ourselves as Nigerians. And nobody will change Nigeria if not Nigerians. If you sit down to think that any other person will come from somewhere and liberate your country, then you should think twice. So that is why it's very important for the citizens, renewed agenda citizens. Citizens make up the country, and it is citizens that will uplift the country to where they want it to be. If we do not do that, then the country will continue to fail. But this country will not fail, because God has blessed this country. If you remember some years back, Some countries have predicted that 2015 Nigeria was going to pack up. This is 2025, 10 years later, we're still standing strong and still moving forward. We will continue to shame all those that don't mean us well. I'm standing here today because I have the privilege of being born in Nigeria. I had the privilege of attending my primary secondary school in Nigeria. I went to Nigerian Defense Academy. Vice Admiral Gambo were the ones that brought us up at the academy. When we graduated from MBA, we met generals like Lieutenant General Buratai. My first contact with him was when he was commandant of Nigerian Army School of Infantry, then as a brigadier general and I was a colonel. Gradually he became the chief of army staff and developed and expanded the Nigerian armed forces because of commitments. I think people don't really understand that the military is a family. And our family transcends just friendship. It goes down to family line. And we find that mostly we know our families, we know our children, we know our parents.
Nuisance leleyi. Nuisance leleyi. Nuisance.
Because that's what they do. That's what they do. That is Nigeria's chief of defense staff. Did you see the tone of gaslighting you? Eh? You are praying for Nigeria to fail. You are working tirelessly to make sure Nigeria fail by compromising all our institutions, by weakening her from within, dividing our people. Those are two different things. Father Lord, I want 10,000 pounds to drop on my desk right now. If I work, I'll get 10,000 pounds, right? If I work for that, there's a chance that I can say, oh, by this time, next month, I'll get paid 10,000 pounds for what I have done. Una make drug baron, drug dealer, certificate forger, kleptomaniac, demented kleptomaniac. You made him president of a country. You have institutions that are so corrupt that they couldn't stop him. None could. And the rest of the world will have to deal with this as your president, this relic that everyone is pretending that is a genius. So you are budgeting 400 billion naira for street lights at the rate of 266 million naira per street light, per pole. Eh? You are budgeting over 260 billion naira for boreholes that will cost each one 177 million naira. You are paying each set. You are like you are borrowing money, printing money. You are running the economy down. Those who are doing all of that, soldiers are not paid. Salaries are, they are not well paid. And even where they are paid, they are not well paid. Equipment that are supposed to be used to protect Nigerians are falling into the hands of terrorists. The terrorists are launching attacks after attacks after attacks. Tens of thousands of Nigerians have died because the military can't protect them. And they are getting paid. But somebody turned around and said, you are the one praying for Nigeria to fail. And they are busy working to make sure that it never succeeds. Nigeria never actually succeed. If you look at all the actions of these guys, you can tell yourself that Nigeria stands no chance. Forget it. You cannot plant mango and think you want to harvest cashew. It doesn't work that way. People who are responsible for the failing Nigeria, they are gaslighting citizens. Shenami go come carry gun now, go fight terrorists. When my salary is going to be 70,000, you say I have to be patriotic. You guys are looting money meant for the welfare of your soldiers. You are selling intelligence to terrorists. Your own soldiers are being ambushed by terrorists. You that are supposed to be a country. And that is not on one occasion, 2 occasions, 3 occasions, on many occasions. Well, it is me that is praying for Nigeria to fail. That is the problem. I am the one. Here you get. I am the one who took money from World Bank, IMF, and the rest of them, accepted all their conditions, devalued the currency of my country, accepted the hyperinflation as austerity, and then tell people that they should have a renewed hope. A renewed shege. In reality, these bro-beaten, badly traumatized, bullied, boxed to the corner Nigerians are still being blamed. Yet they are the most prayerful people on earth. Every now and then, pray for Nigeria. Every now and then, 21 days crusade. Prayer for abundance, peace, abundance, prosperity for Nigeria, unity for Nigeria. There is no prayer point that you can't find anywhere as they are doing the Christian one, they do the Muslim one. They are sending people to Mecca. Every state in Nigeria, including Imo State, in Igbo land, they are sending people to Mecca to go and pray to Allah in Mecca for Nigeria. They send people go to Jerusalem. People where they pray too much, but somebody is trying to gaslight them still that they are not doing enough. That is why Nigeria is failing. Really? If it was in the days of the old, Egypt just cross border, just hit Nigeria. In the back in the day, so they stroll to Nigeria, just you want patriotism from your people. Who are they learning that from? Let's even start from that. You, patriotic Nigerian or patriotic Nigerians, who did you learn that from? Your patriotism? From your president? Abi from your governor? Abi your royal father? Abi your pastor? Abi now your sultan? Abi emir? Who you learn that from? Your papa? Yeah, very lovely. Well, what do you think we can do with that? If those who are supposed to be your role models, your leaders, the ones that you can actually aspire, a lot of you are aspiring to be like them, you are aspiring to be like them because one day you could be driving the most expensive automobile, living in the most, palatial hotels and palaces and all that, living wealth, money in the water, baba, money, I smell money, that kind of a dream. And you can get all of that if you join their criminal enterprise, but somebody is paying. There's nothing free. It's all those nice cars, jets, fancy things that these guys are displaying every now and then. Those politically exposed people that they are thieves stealing from you, but somehow you enabled them. See, everything they are spending, you get me now? Somebody is paying for it, and guess what? You, your children, you're paying for it. It's not free. Because the money that is meant to be used on you, that could help your own productivity, become a better citizen, and maybe even love the country. Your money has been shared, spent on, God damn it, nothing. Nothing really, really beneficial, so to say, to the people. No. It's your money. Hope you do. So patriotism is not by gaslighting citizens. Listen to this moron again.
When we achieve success, it goes quiet. But once a soldier or somebody is killed or something, you will see the flashes. So the tendency is, who are you doing that for? Always remember that if your security forces fail, you don't have a home. You'll be a refugee in somebody else's country. And I don't know if that is what you are praying for. So we must ask ourselves those questions. We in government and the security agencies must seize opportunity, conventional and digital media as tools of truthfully informing Nigerians about security development, especially during times of crisis. And that is why, since we came on board, we have been open. We have never shied away when we make mistakes. We allude to it and we make a redress. We take action and try to prevent in future, because we are human beings. The good, the bad, and ugly exist everywhere. And remember, we recruit for the society. So we are not recruiting angels. We are recruiting Nigerians. So they will come with the baggage. But the system has a way of identifying them and prosecuting them so that they don't give us bad names. And that's why it's important. Nigerians are asked, especially during times of crisis, of course. Such communication must be weighed against what is permissible under national security. But it is possible and necessary to strike a balance. Sometimes when you get information and you divulge so early, you might be aiding the enemy unknowingly, thinking that you are looking for front page news so that your editor will give you probably extra bonus when you are selling your country. So you must always sit down and discern. This information, is it true? Is it timely? Is it when to be released? But have we also clarified about it? Indeed, Nigerians have many questions, some tough, some emotional, some simply seeking clarity. These questions reflect their concern, curiosity, and deep interest in the progress of our nation. That in itself is a strength we must harness. I therefore congratulate the esteemed panelists who will speak today. You have a challenging task ahead of you, but I'm confident that you possess the expertise, wisdom, and courage to engage sincerely. Security remains the most talked about topic across households and media platforms.
Nuisance leleyi. Nuisance leleyi.
You know something? They are all scared of social media, and I don't know why. Do your job, and your job will speak for itself. Why are you so interested in controlling the narratives? Social media is a place, before now, right? Before now. Man, I can't say that people have not really improved. Let's be honest, okay? People have. Unfortunately, it seems that, this tribal, ethnic, religious division, north, south, and all that stuff, dichotomy, they continue to hinder conversation among people to identify their common enemies. Every one of them is afraid of social media, because before now, when the media heard the news of attack anywhere, right? A journalist will go there, cover it, interview the locals, get the details of what's going on, even interview the soldiers too. But the moment it is discovered that, the terrorists, I'm using this context now, like the terrorists came, people called the soldiers who were just about 15 minutes away from that community, but they didn't answer, they didn't respond. The terrorists killed a certain number of people, kidnapped others, and this whole operation lasted for 4 hours. And all the SOS to the security agents, they were not responded to. So saying that to a journalist, then let's say you now interview a soldier, and the soldier says, we received those distress calls, or we were told to stand down. That's some very significant discovery as a journalist. Now, releasing that after people have been killed and kidnapped, such stories, in the name of national security, they will bury it. Every reporter, they usually go over and beyond to get their stories and get them published. Baba, some of them they didn't live to tell the story, like real life. But social media broke all of that. Right now, you can even go live when the terrorists are attacking your community, and the whole world will be watching what happened. Now, you don't even need to speak to any journalist anymore. You could record the event and post them on social media. Now, you can tell how many people died, where. Sure, you get. What is the level of the destruction? There is no more censorship. There is no more cover-up. They could not control the narratives anymore. And that, to them, is actually a big loss of power, the power of control to control the narrative. Because to them, that is how to keep the citizens calm. But rather than them do their job, guess what? They started gaslighting the same citizens. They started making different laws on how to gag the citizens. They still haven't figured it out, though. And that is why when they lie that they have democracy in that contraption, I mean, their actions says otherwise. And that is why every one of them is always so concerned about social media, fake news. And the number one, what do you call them again? The number one spreader, no, that's not the word. The number one promoter of fake news, I will just stay to Nigeria. In the entire Nigeria is the APC. I can give you hundreds of their fake news. Rather than for them to own up whenever they are outed, they will double down. You begin to hear stories after stories and all of that. And if you are still very much questioning them, not, like backing down, they will automatically turn it into a fight, sort of. So people have resorted into self-help in the past because the security agents, they have failed. And guess what? We have had people, after when they were working inside this corrupt system, right? And all they witnessed, they couldn't speak out. And the moment they are out of that space, many of them have spoken up to tell us that the whole thing is intentional. The whole conspiracy around insecurity in Nigeria is like so damning, because it's not because Nigeria military can crush them. The thing is, Nigeria military cannot make a move to crush them. Nigeria military must not crush them. Nigeria military must guide, protect, and ensure the establishment of all these terrorists. And they are lying to their own soldiers. They're also lying to Nigerians. I mean, don't pretend that you've not heard some of these revelations, right? They are the number one promoter of fake news, lies. And that won't make the truth die. You know that? 10 years ago, when this war on Nigerians and the indigenous people of this contraption, Nigeria, were to begin the nightmare of the Fulani terrorism in Nigeria, 10 years ago, a young man from Adamawa State, okay, Mr. Sunday Jackson, Adamawa, he was attacked on his own farm. He was attacked on his farm. And in the process, he managed to disarm his attacker. And the attacker lost his life. So it took them about 2 months or so, or 3 months, before order from above said, self-defense or no self-defense. He just killed a Fulani, so he must pay. And from that moment on, the Nigeria compromised criminal justice system had been weaponized against him right from the word go. The Supreme Court of Nigeria that was supposed to probably look into the merits of this whole thing, they just went with the lower court judgment. Mr. Jackson will be hung by his neck because he's been sentenced, and his death sentence has been affirmed by the Supreme Court. Like, what kind of a country is this? Do you know what they said? They said he should have run away. Are you being serious? It was on his farm. He was attacked. His life was on the line. The adrenaline that rushes or drives through you when you feel like you're about to die. I have not been there. I can only imagine it because I've been scared like before, you know, where you're like, oh my God, that kind of feeling like, oh my God, that could have been really, really deadly accident, right? You were attacked on your farm. So it's because there are some powerful people behind that. And I remember. So Omoyele Shore, who also spoke on that 3 months ago, after one American has taken up the campaign to free him, right? So Ozekome, barrister Michael Ozekome, right, who had been a victim of kidnappings too. He's been kidnapped before, told his own story, for some of you who can remember. And this was like about 13 years or so ago. 14. Now he's saying that, I think he represents the guy, right? He's saying it's unbelievable. You know, everybody will say, you need to defend yourself. So, what person will come do? You defended yourself. They send you to the gallows. Not just that, to the guillotine. It's called, it's guillotine, a big guillotine. You decided to form a vigilante with your then gun shakabula, everything, to go after these terrorists. If not die, or die, not die. You can't sit back and get killed every now and then. And on your way to the place, they drop bomb on you. Woo! It's a Nigerian Air Force. You can't protect us. And you won't even let us protect ourselves. So what are you going to do in a compromised system? Everybody is a victim. Sure.
Very good. So you're in a hot mess.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a mess here. But I saw you.
Yes, sir.
I think it was on the Arise TV.
Yeah.
And I've been looking for ways to connect with you.
Yeah.
A lot of people are interested in the matter. But we want you to talk to our audience about what is actually going on with this particular case and how they can help.
Thank you.
We have Nigerians all over the world who are watching you right now.
Yes, they are.
And everybody is very apprehensive about it. That the person who was fighting in self-defense was sentenced to death. He's facing a death sentence that has now been validated by the Supreme Court of the land. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is.
So if you just have a second, we can just say hello to our audience.
Yeah, sure. Emmanuel, why don't you go first?
No, you go first.
All right. Dr. William Devlin, I am the volunteer CEO of Widows and Orphans.info, which is an international humanitarian organization. And I work not only in Nigeria, but in 19 other countries around the world. I particularly work in areas where people of faith are being persecuted. And so the name of the organization is Widows and Orphans.info. So myself and my team here, Barrister Emmanuel Agebe, we've been doing humanitarian work in the hardest of places here in Nigeria. So, but when I heard the case of Sunday Jackson, this innocent man who was minding his own business, farming in Adamawa State in Numan, and he was accosted by a Fulani herdsman, Islamist, and attacked and stabbed, and then in a moment of self-defense, turned the knife on the attacker, and they had a mortal combat, and the attacker perished. So and then he went to jail. This was 2015, was in jail 6 years before the case was tried. Case was finally tried in 2021. I had the opportunity to go to Adamawa State, in the state prison there in Yola, and spend time and visit with Sunday Jackson himself. Ministered to him, prayed for him, and also heard the story from his own lips. As a result of that, we started to be advocates for Sunday Jackson. We were in conclusion, we were at the hearing of his case in the Nigerian Supreme Court on Friday, March 7, 2025. He was the last of 30 cases, and when his Sunday Jackson case was announced, case dismissed. So what happened is the Supreme Court agreed with the appeals court, and now, unless there's a pardon from the gracious governor of Adamawa State, Governor Fatori, this young man will be hanged by the neck. So he's already been in prison 10 years, imagine that, on death row. And so we now have not only been advocating for him in Abuja, in Adamawa, but now it's become a Nigerian-wide situation.
Well, it's international at this
then
point.
African, and 2 weeks ago it became Sunday Jackson, this innocent man who was defending himself and his farm. It's now become an international case, and we're very grateful that God is using us to promote Sunday Jackson, and we're encouraging people to write to the governor and to pray that Governor of Adamawa State, Governor Fatori, would graciously pardon this young man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard, we came across Dr. William Devlin by accident here today. We were here representing other victims of oppression of the Nigerian state. There was a guy who was sent to, he has been in police custody for 50 days because he did a TikTok video accusing the wife of the president of some immorality. He was sent to jail. He was supposed to appear in court today. They did not bring him, and the court has adjourned. So we just came back from the police station, only to find our lovely brother here, Emmanuel Ogebe, who he and I have been also fighting together, and sometimes and against each other. Sometimes in the U.S. Yes,
eras of Abacha.
Yeah, Abacha. Up to Yaradua. You know,
exactly.
Yes, and all that. So I'm glad that you are also involved in the. We all have a duty to get Samuel Jackson out of this unjust, unlawful, and inhuman condition of legal limbo that has been
10 years
validated by the Supreme Court. And it's happening at a time that these same Marelos are killing people all the way from Maiduguri to Port Harcourt.
With impunity.
Yes, they're killing people in their farms with impunity. Whereas we do not classify this as an ethnic issue, we classify it as a failure of those in government who have the duty to protect citizens who have refused to get involved and to do what is right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it all. This is Samuel Jackson that we have to fight for again, and we want to ensure that he gets out of this cul-de-sac into which he's been put. So we are calling on.
It's just like a reminder, you know, before you know it right now, we'll be in 2035. And then some of you will be like, oh, I remember, the guy, is the guy still in prison? Say, he's still there, you know, especially those of you who are in the group of set up you to stand up and defend yourselves. I've told you this before, that those who are enabling the terrorists, right? They don't want them to be defeated. And that is why, if you pay attention very well, Nigeria is a place where the terrorists are rehabilitated, while activists are treated as terrorists. So therefore, the activists are jailed. Terrorists are rehabilitated in Nigeria. Don't pretend you don't know that. That's something. So you have to choose what you want to become. I mean, you want to be like, do you want to be a terrorist or you want to be an activist? So those of you who say, you know, we should stand up and fight, you also need to remember this. All right. I remember under Bokohari, it was a national project to disarm Nigerians. It was like it's so pre-planned, right? To disarm Nigerians and then unleash the armed terrorists on them. So a conversation like this can happen, and we can continue to have the conversation like this. We can continue to have it. So yeah, let's continue to have the conversation about Fulani terrorists. Don't call them that. Yes, I'll call them that because they are Fulani terrorists. My friend, listen, let me tell you, anybody can be criminal. Can you call them Yoruba terrorists? Yes, if they go to Sokoto to kidnap people, ransack villages, burn down villages, kidnap, kill people, we'll call them Yoruba terrorists, if that is. All right? There's nothing like that. The only one we have are those who claim that because they are from the Sahel and they have to feed cows. These days, we don't even see cows anymore. We just see bikes. So we call them that. So they disarmed Nigerians. That if they see you with gun, then gun, no, Baba, they will parade you in front of their cameramen and say you were caught. This man was caught with 3 guns. They show you the gun. It could be all those shakabula that you have to take your time. You can even sing the whole album of 5, Davido's latest one. You can sing the whole thing while you are trying to make just one. Now, one shot or you won't make it. Trying to make sure that the gunpowder settled very well. After that, you have to make sure that you first hit it on the ground like that. Hey, you have to call your ancestors because they have to go with you. Here you get, call them here, you do this, you do this, do this, you do this. Then you point it. As you are pointing it as well, you still have to be saying some certain things. That's the gun. Oh. But the AK-47 wielding terrorist is there with his guns and his phone and his victim on his TikTok recording, laughing, showing their victims, showing the ransoms, because nobody is looking for them. That's what you have in that place, right? And I think that's what this Showere's friend had to say. This country,
It looks like on this planet, there are 2 countries that worship cows. One is the Hindus and then we in Nigeria. Because cows seem to have a greater protection and constitutional rights than the Nigerian citizen. Now, what is very upsetting to me is that we have a court system that will contort the meanings of the constitution to accommodate the police and vices of politicians. But in a situation where the constitution clearly says that this judgment should have been rendered within 90 days, it was rendered 167 days afterwards. And they didn't even pick up on this to try and help this man out. Some of the things that have been claimed in the judgment is that he should have run away. But the evidence shows that he was stabbed in the leg. How does the person who is stabbed in the leg run? Secondly, these Fulani headsmen are very agile. They live in the forest, and so they're in better shape. And Sunday said he ran, but the man was revolution overtook him. So these are some of the reasons why we're concerned about this judgment. The judgment says that to all extents possible, he fulfilled and met the thresholds for being leading the defense of self-defense, because he was not the aggressor. It was the attacker's weapon that he used to strike back. But they said because the man stabbed him 2 times and he stabbed the man 3 times, that it is excessive. That does not even make any sense. Common sportsmanship that we know, the rule of every game is that the person who scores the most wins. This was a game, a battle for life. Only one person was coming out of this battle alive, and that each person wanted to be the one. The fact that he stabbed him only 3 times, in fact, in my mind, tells me that he was a very good person. But because any other person in that situation would have stabbed him up to several times to make sure that, first of all, you came, you destroyed my farm with your tattoo. I spoke to you, then you wanted to kill me. He was a victim of double assault that day, and he defended himself. And after suffering for 10 years in prison, the Nigerian government wants to kill him. Very honestly, Sunday Jackson, it would have been better for him if he had been killed that day than to suffer what he has suffered. His wife has died. Before she died, she gave birth to a child that he has never seen. The child is now 10 years old without a father. And then after all this suffering, you want to kill him again. Wouldn't it have been better for him to have died 10 years ago than to die now? And so he has already served time for an offense he didn't commit. He woke up that day not planning to fight anyone or kill anyone. He was trying to kill his family. Nigeria has failed this revolution. Our legal system has failed these people. And he's a poor man. That is why, but for the grace of God, if we hadn't spoken out on this issue, his life would have just gone just like that.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And we're very grateful in conclusion.
Like, I mean, you watching that, you can put your 1 and 2 together and know that this is the mess, right? But it is deliberate. It is to help further expose the rotten Nigeria's criminal justice system. the system is, the justice system is so criminal. It's not even like the criminal justice system that treats the criminals, no? A system occupied by criminals. You will never see justice. You won't get justice. A compromised system. You know what I mean? It's sad. And to buttress his own point, the last guy, this man didn't leave his house to go and kill somebody that day. He was out to go and work so that he could feed his own family. Then he met this Fulani terrorist, right, that chose to end his life. And like he said, it was obvious there was only one person coming out alive. The Supreme Court says he stabbed him 3 times, but the Fulani terrorist only stabbed him 2 times. He fought and got the knife. He used the same attacker's knife. The attacker stabbed him twice to kill him. He struggled, he got the knife, fought him, stabbed him 3 times, and the attacker died from his injury. And somebody who was on his own, it's like somebody coming to, attacker coming into your own house, and people say, why didn't you run outside? Why didn't you just run away from him? Like, where would you want me to run to? Where? That is Nigeria's criminal justice system. The reason why we will continue to mention this is because an innocent man, like many, many others, who are currently languishing in Nigeria prison, while the real criminals are walking about, driving in bulletproof vehicles, being protected with, heavy security men and women all over the place. Sad. Yeah, justice or no justice, right? It's always great to kind of like, stand for something. And justice is justice tonight. It's not like a justice or justice. Okay, well, either way. So something happened at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. Today, most of you have seen that, right? It was Werewike. Werewike was invited as a guest speaker. Something. And in the process, some of the students, right, carried a placard asking Wike to leave their campus. This is that, and the brief drama actually made it to the headlines in Nigeria. Because initially they said it was the DSS who took them, and nobody knew where they took them to. Well, people have now come out to say no, they only told them to leave the hall. This event.
It demands honesty,
that you demolish their houses.
fairness, and justice.
Minister Wike.
Yeah, so they had to come in. Put it up. So they were protesting the demolition of people's homes in Abuja. Maybe some of them, their parents have become homeless. While they were in school, they received calls to say, well, don't come back home. We don't get home here again. We are now packing everything left on our way to Igero Ekiti. Somebody didn't come see with a wiki, dressed like I'm just picturing what could have been, because they didn't ask for any other thing. It's like they are not happy to see the man who puts many people on the streets by demolishing their homes and revoking their lands. So you can expect that. Now, away from that, in Osun State, it is being rumored. I don't know how many of you saw the pictures. Maybe you did. Pictures of Davido, his dad. Then his uncle, Governor Ade Jackson Ajogbafida of Osun. They went to go and see Thiefnubu in his house. I think it was yesterday. No, it was 2 days ago. Anyway, so yesterday the whole pictures made it to the internet and people started reacting, including this guy from Osun, because the impression right now is that among those who are still going to join Thiefnubu in the APC. Let me remind you some of the list again. This Umba of Enugu, Diri of Bayelsa, to crack my brain. Anyway, now they are mentioning this guy. Give me a second. Let's start again. Right. Adeleke, that's Governor Ajubafida. So they are saying that, Adeleke is going for second term. I think the election is 2026. Is it? Yeah, next year, or maybe next year. So it's been rumored that Adeleke is also about to go and join them in APC. Like I said, it's just rumor. But some people don't react already. They don't want them, they don't want him, and like in Lagos, maybe you should pay attention to this one too.
I want to say this categorically that APC ticket is not for sale. As a matter of fact, as at today, we don't see Adeleke as member or part of APC as a party. Let me be sincere with you. The APC in Osun State remain the party to beat. And I want to tell you that if not because of the fear of unknown that is disturbing Adeleke family and PDP, they wouldn't have shown the intention of coming to APC. And we have been saying this times without number, that APC are fully on ground in Osun. If not because of the year 2022 and that of 2023, we shouldn't have officials across the state in Osun. Now, once the Adeleke family and PDP that they should remain calm, that no space for PDP or Adeleke in APC. APC ticket, come rain, come sunshine, is not for sale for Adeleke family.
Now people have reacted that one is only exercising a symptom of delusion, because what APC Egbekegbe is known for is that so if they have gone to go and see Koolu, and Koolu that is looking to look good to everyone, that he's got no opposition by 2027, so he would welcome Adeleke. Like he's going to welcome a seamless full barrack, right? So I saw that elsewhere. That's why I shared it with you. Like, pay attention, no, because if you hear that Adeleke said don't go APC, no begin the act like, yeah, that's who they are. So it's still going to get to that stage that it will always be like it's a one-party thing, right? As it is, right? And except there is any new shock that we're going to get from the obedience, the coalition as well, right? This is what you call the height of your power. And at that point, after the bubble, so pay attention. In that same motion, it seems that Emir of Iwo, the Dangbana Rashidi, the Emir of Iwo, has now rebranded, or is rebranding himself again. He said, people should start calling him Alafin of Iwo. Yeah, Alafin Iwo, still in Osun State.
Èmi ọmọ ẹtù ní ìdójúgbò àjẹjọ aláàfin ẹsẹ ń pè mí lólùwò.
Aláàfin Ìwó. I mean, we have all these guys holding important, sensitive, political, traditional positions. I don't know. When I asked you earlier that who is your role model? Where are you going to learn patriotism from? From these clowns? Funny. Yeah, how funny. You don't understand. When I saw people, there are guys called the NBM. So I think they are also called Aye. Yeah. Is that what you call Aye, NBM? Please correct me. Well, that's not the point. What happened is that the Dodoyo governor of Edo State, Okwe Odoyo, right, declared war on courtists and courtesan, like bad behavior in Edo State. So far, so good. He has demolished like 2 buildings suspected to be houses owned or connected to these court groups because of the violence and all that, killings and all that. But yesterday, the 4th of June, they had to take Edo State to government, to court. Now, the surprise of so many people is that how can a court group take government to court? They said, no, we are legally registered organization. We are not court group like they are saying. Edo State.
Agree follow Tori people talk, but Chief Regina Ashiwu will be the NBM head lawyer and one of member of the movement as them they yarn with Tori people, Koya said them get strong confidence for their case.
This counsels to NBM of Africa. NBM of Africa is a charitable, non-governmental organization that its secretariat was illegally demolished by the state government of Edo State. Edo State government predicated on an obnoxious law. Although NBM as an organization was not mentioned in that law. But before a state government, a responsible state government, we demolish any property that belongs to any person or any organization. There must be an order of court to that. And that singular reckless act of the state government of Edo State is what we are here in court today to challenge and to declare it unconstitutional. We must fight this fight using the instruments of law. 2 wrongs have never made a right. They accused our clients, NBM of Africa, of being a cult organization that harbor cultists. And to a reasonable human being, it is not necessary to raise a blanket action on an organization. No doubt assuming without considering there are few miscreants in that organization, it has not made that organization a proscribed organization. After all, my client is well registered with the CAC of this country in accordance with the law of the country. And in view of that, they should have challenged the registration before taking any other steps to demolish it if there was prima facie evidence of their allegations. But they didn't do that. But instead, they went on without notice, maliciously, without fair hearing, without anything, without even recourse to the leadership of the organization, without giving them notice to come and take anything from it, and demolished everything. I've seen the pictures of the place, a gigantic building, well furnished, that even other people that are not members utilize this for their social functions. How then will you do that? How then will you do that? We are here today in the Federal High Court before Honorable Justice Chu Chukobiozo, to ventilate our grievances. And we believe with what happened in this court today, we will get justice. Edo State government will be the last illegal demolition they do is this, because they will pay heavily for what they have meted out on our clients. The next dates have been adjourned to 16, and we will be here again, 16th of June 2025. We will come back here again to see that this, our case, is advanced in the interest of everybody, in the interest of everybody, in the interest of everybody. Not only my clients, but all other related organizations, registered organizations.
My name is Dr. Sir Chokubi Joma. I'm the president of MBM of Africa, Upper Southeast. We're here today with a team of lawyers to challenge the illegal demolition of financial headquarters at Benin by the Edo State government. We're here today to challenge the illegality of the government and to prove to the world that you cannot just, because you are a government, demolish a property that belongs to a legal organization. We are a well-registered organization, and the government should know that. So today we are here, 4th June of 2025, to challenge.
I kind of like that, though, because they believe that they have fundamental human rights. But in context, like that's what our parents call secret courts. If you go to school and you join like people don't see them. They say that you have to dodge. But they seems to be trying to stop that stigmatization, by saying, yeah, we may have some bad eggs among us, but that doesn't make all of us bad people. You can't just use a blanket or a view to whip all of us, destroy our headquarters when we are legally registered. I mean, come on. So I like that. It's interesting, isn't it? Right, let's go back to Lagos, okay? Yesterday I shared with you Wabi Wole, who were busy with his team clearing, the pile of rubbish dumped in the middle of the Lagos Badagry Expressway, remember? That was yesterday, okay? Guess what? While they were there, still packing all of those things you saw in that video yesterday, right? I think they're on their way back, not far from that place. They saw big men with their cars, trucks. Guess what they came to do? To dump rubbish just by the roadside. Somebody said that, when you look at those who litter the road most, or those who do their illegal dumping of refuse in Nigeria, they are mostly rich people. Fancy car, fancy house, they do the most. I'm not blaming them for everything, but they do the most. Fly tipping. Yeah? So they caught these ones just few meters away from where they were parking the decades old pile of rubbish. Doing this short one. Then they took them to Alausa, I think. Yeah. To show us their faces. See if your uncle did there. So that you can call him and say, oh God, I saw you. You don't bribe them, you don't come back home, Abi. I saw you on Mayogun's diary political for the record. Yeah? Do you know anybody there? Even if you did, you won't tell us. But don't worry. So let's cross the border and go to Ogun State, where dubious Dapo of Ogun State was selling a very beautiful lumber, right? To my people. Well, somehow, right? I kind of wish it's true, you know. It's a private, I think it's a private enterprise, okay? He told them that he's setting up, or he is informing them of an upcoming factory in Ogun State, which is going to be the biggest wool processing factory in the world. And it will be processing 1,000 tons of wool every day. And I was like, Lambani, I say, you know, right? So if you have one that is going to process 1,000 tons of wool every day, right? That's brilliant, like really, really brilliant. But you need to also possibly be growing a very, very massive land of cotton, right? Because you need the raw material to supply to this factory. But he said it's going to be a factory that is worth $5 billion, and they're just halfway into it. But they're already showing us video of machine processing wool. But again, it's worth sharing, right? Listen to this.
The renewed hope, cutting resurgence duty of our indefatigable President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. And what is this renewed hope, cutting resurgence initiative? In the next maybe 60 days, Mr. President will come home to the state. He will be doing the groundbreaking of the biggest, the largest cotton processing plant in the world, right here in Edo State. This plant is a public-private sector initiative. You will be processing 100 tons of cotton per hour. Which will translate to about 1,000 tons of cotton for a work day. For those that do not appreciate that, 1,000 tons of cotton, end-to-end, from cotton to finished product in terms of garment, translates to 4 million garments a day. 4 million garments a day. Listen to this. This processing facility will employ 250,000 people working there every day. And it's said to be 250,000. Are you seeing that name? The first instance, this project will cost $2.5 billion. Concluded, secure. Now, can you listen now? So, 250,000 direct employment. Can you now imagine the indirect employment? Meaning, all the offtake agreements that we signed with cotton farmers in Edo State and across the entire country. This project will bring positioning Nigeria back to its #1 position as the cotton and garment center, not just for Africa, but for the time. You will
dubious darkness. Could you feel the lumber? I could feel it from here. It was so good that imagination won't move the majority of them in that room. Number one, he said they are building the factory, she gets, and it's in Ogun State. So Thiefnubu, in the next 60 days, Thiefnubu is going to come there to commission it. Now, if they manage to have this factory that can process 1,000 tons of wool every day, right? That's quite good. But that's not the biggest in the whole world. The biggest in the whole world, when I did my research, I don't know, I know it's pretty much like a Lamba, right? But I just wanted to kind of check. The biggest wool processing factory in the world is in China. Guess how much it's processing in a single day? 61,000 tons of wood every day. Well, that's not the point. Currently, there is no single cotton farm in Ogun State that they can say, Omo, if you see over 50 hectares of land cultivated for growing of cotton, but dubious Dapo was telling his gathering that they is doing something called Cotton Resurgence Initiative. Fancy word, right? Cotton Resurgence Initiative. Guess what? There is no cotton farm in Ogun State. None. So that will tell you pretty much what you need to know. All right. But he said in the next 60 days, though, Thiefnubu will be busy in Ogun State. When I was listening to him, right, and the video they made that video to sell the propaganda of this is great. If you begin to ask them questions, they will say you are enemy of progress. Remember that time when we told those ones who were listening to Hopeless Zotingba? At least this was like 2 years ago, I think, 2023, December, when they are doing the campaign for the election they now did later. Hopeless Zotingba. If to say he fulfilled his promise by now, more than 4,000 Imo youth will be working in the top IT firms in Europe. But right now, the story don't change.
Let me tell you something. I have gone further to negotiate with the European Union companies and Canadian companies. They are sending us special areas of digital skill, which our youth will also learn. And by December this year, 4,000 Imo youth will be employed in Europe. And once the employment letter comes, the governor will pay for an 8 tickets.
So do you understand why it seems that people loved their bondage, but they will join you to complain? They will join you. These people, they are bad people. But everybody is just probably looking for his own chance. Not everybody do. Not everybody. That's blanket statement. It's not even a matter of if. Those of you who commented on that video 2 years ago, those of you, and some of you will remember, like maybe 5-10 people on this platform right now, possibly saw that video 2 years ago. They commented that he was lying to them. And under your comments, a lot of them attacked you. That shut up your mouth. What do you know? Do you know how many people he has already helped? Do you come to Owerri, come to Imo, come to Kiniko, because you will be enemy of progress telling them that time. How many of you remember that? Don't ask questions. Once they drop the lamba, just take it, swallow it. Asking question means this will be like, say this one don't smart. You know what? Hey, don't listen to him. He's an enemy, he's your enemy. He doesn't want me to do it for you. Everybody will begin to face you. My friend, do you want him to change his mind? You this bad belly, you this doubting Thomas. Can't you just be happy for us that we are going to go to? And it's so sad, because imagine if some of what this guy says they want to do, or they say they are doing, that they're actually doing them. Do you know the impact that is going to have on people? Like really positive impact. We are going to invest in electricity. Boom, they give you electricity. 50,000, 60,000 generated megawatt of, 50,000 megawatt of electricity distributed, companies running, factories working, everybody, doing their own thing. But no, they won't. They won't. but they will still gaslight you for questioning them that, I have a question. No question. Oh, yeah, let us close our eyes and pray. And somebody within the crowd will say, Father Lord, in Jesus' name, we are praying for this, our governor. All his beautiful idea for us. All his marvelous dream for us. Father Lord, let it come to fulfill. Father, please give him long life. Pray for him. On lies. You know. Unfortunately, some of them are so ashamed to even blame God for it and say, oh God, I remember asking you that you should make sure they succeed. Now, that is what I mean, right? When they succeed, right? They sing.
Things are getting better for Nigeria. Things are getting better. For Asiwaju is on the throne. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Mr. President, things are getting better. Hey, I said, things are getting better for Nigeria. For Nigeria is on the way. Progressive government. Things are getting better. Asiwaju, congratulations.
Things are getting better for Nigeria. Things are getting better.
This is called Juhu. Hey, you know there's a million all of these. I'm gonna tell you this now. I'm gonna go first. You're going to want to know how immediately go for this motor. Then go. Now put this motor.
We are a poor nation. The bank coal will follow. They say firewood not smoke. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, shine shining, and tell the West, if you don't guarantee our finances and work with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. They'll do it.
Do it. Anyway, thanks so much, everyone, for your time. Okay. And from this point, I take a bow out, draw the curtain. You all have a good night. Odaro.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun dayari political. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
kí gómìnà gbówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
òkúra olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í o. ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì í. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.